almost kind of bounces to you. Just tell me what you were seeing when that ball came out of Carson's hand.
It was pretty slow motion. Ball went up, bounced off a couple defenders' hand. I seen it the whole way, and just happened to grab it out the air.
Carson, how often do you guys practice that Hail Mary play?
All the time. Practice that all the time. No, we talked about it on the sideline. Hey, we're gonna go Hail Mary here. Try to get to the end zone. Carson, stay alive. That's all we had to do. So, yeah, I mean, heck of a play by J-Webb. I mean, heck of a play by all the dudes over there. I saw the ball bouncing around. I didn't really see who caught it, but yeah, worked well.
On that fourth down throw, I know your guys' bench was pointing that there was 1 second left. Just take us through what you saw and then that process of sitting through the review, waiting to see if the game was over. There's 1 second left.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping that there was 1 second. I mean, the game's not over until all zeros hit the clock. So, we were like, hey, again, it was Hail Mary time. Miracles happen. Stuff happens. We executed just right the way we talked about it. Obviously, we don't practice a whole lot, but, it worked out in the end, and just really happy for the guys.
Is there a way that receivers are supposed to line up when you guys all get to the end zone? Are you stacking on top of each other, or is it just sort of,
Actually, yeah. First man, outside receiver, and get to the back of the end zone, slot, tip drill, ball just went up. That was about it.
Jack, what was it like watching that play, from the sideline?
It was all right. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I still don't really know what to say. I was standing over there. Didn't have a view, so I was watching the video board. I kind of did a double take with my eyes. Oh, we got it. So, yeah, it's hard to describe still.
This is obviously a win that could send you guys to the playoffs. I guess how meaningful, obviously coming against State, how meaningful is this game?
Yeah, I really feel like, the way we've played this year, we're just a good team. We're a team that I think belongs in the playoffs. And simple as that. That they still don't just give it to you because I think that you still have to go earn it. And made a step there today, and got to make another step to it next week.
Jack, everybody's going to talk about, obviously, the play at the end, but your defense was outstanding today. I mean, you talked about how you guys stood up against a real good offense like that and came through like you did.
Yeah, they're obviously really talented offense. We knew they got athletes too. They got guys on scholarship. They're probably going to move the ball a little bit, but just stay the course, keep doing our job every play, and try not to give up explosives, and tackle once we get to the rock.
Carson, does this change at all how you go into the game next week? Just.
Yeah, no, not at all. We're still chasing a ring, and we're still chasing a conference championship. So we're definitely not going to let off the gas. Maybe some people might think that we're going to ride high from this win. No, we're back to work tomorrow, and I think that's the mentality that all these guys got, and the guys in that locker room over there. I mean, we want to win, and we're going to continue to win. So I think that mindset right now, obviously the win helps, but we're back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, and Jeremiah, before that big play, you having one of the best games of the season. What were some of the openings you were seeing, and what were some of the opportunities you got in this game?
Right before the game, we knew Case was going to be out. Everyone just telling me, when your number call, it's time to step up. Scare money don't make money. That's what we preached all week in practice. And I just went out there with confidence and played South Dakota football.
Carson, did the medical staff have to do miracle work today to get you back out there a few times?
Yes, a couple stuff went behind the scenes. We were just trying to check up on it. I mean, it was, just a couple plays when I would go down. It would just be like some type of shock through my arm or something, and just trying to make sure we were maintaining the pain. A couple ibuprofens, all that stuff. But no, training staff did a great job helping me up, doing everything I got to do to get back on the field.
Did you play through being hurt, or are you, was it just sort of a stinger?
I mean, it was a little bit of both. I mean, it was like a stinger, and just from the previous play that happened against Illinois State, obviously, that injury is still kind of lingering. But obviously, it wasn't going to stop me. I want to do everything I can to be on that field. So again, I can't thank the medical staff enough for helping me out, doing everything we possibly can to get me back on the field.
And Jack, you guys went up against, Pierre Strong, really strong running back, limited to 20 yards in the first half. Still had a fairly good job. Did a fairly good job against him overall today. What was the game plan to try and slow down that running attack?
Yeah, I mean, we don't change the way we approach run defense because the team's got a good running back, right? We're going to do what we've done all season. We pride ourselves on stopping the run. Obviously, a little bit extra emphasis in practice this week of finishing once you get to the ball. proper leverage, that sort of thing. So, I don't know, just play our game. We're not going to change drastically who we are.
Any other questions for the players? All right, thanks, guys.
Go Yotes.
And really proud of our kids, really happy for our kids. You know, obviously kind of a unique way to end the game, but as crazy as that play was, I really thought our kids deserved to win that football game. You know, they played hard, played physical football. You know, obviously missing a couple of field goals and some opportunities to put points on the board put us in kind of a bad position there at the end. But our kids kept believing. We talk about that all the time, and made an unbelievable play at the end.
Bob, from your vantage point on the sideline, did you get a clear look at how the play happened, or were you kind of blocked by the big pile of bodies?
Well, I was watching Carson. You know, Carson did a great job on that play, you know, to create a little bit of time and to get himself clear enough to be able to launch that ball. You know, that was probably 50 yards in the air. And what I saw the ball get bounced up. And anytime those balls get bounced up, you got a chance because of, you know, how we try to get it bounced up in the air and have a guy in back to be able to be a catcher. And I didn't have to see, I just listened to the crowd at that point. Didn't have to see it for sure because obviously the crowd saw it and at that point knew it was a touchdown.
Have you ever been involved in a similar play like that?
No, you know, I've been a part of a game where we threw a few Hail Marys or we had to defend a few Hail Marys, but never one that we completed. So in the world of firsts for a guy that's been doing this for a long time, that was one I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
When they were reviewing that fourth down play where there was 1 second left, I guess, what did you see on that, too?
I thought for sure there was 1 second left. As a matter of fact, I thought the clock actually stopped at 1 second. And so I was pretty sure that we were going to get a chance. You know, that I thought even in the review there was going to be 1 second. And so we were getting our offense ready, getting the people put in there that we wanted in there for that last play. And unfortunately, that's what the replay official saw, and we had an opportunity to execute it.
Bobby Dobbs.
You know, you talked about you were kind of on the fringe of Hail Mary range right there, right about probably how far Carson can throw it. Did you have any conversations about, should we try like a hook and lateral trick play or anything like that? Or was it kind of like big?
We thought we were close enough. I just watched the play before I came up for the media. Actually, those guys were like on the 2-yard line. They weren't actually in the end zone when the pile got basically at the goal line. And so when he caught it, he was in the end zone or falling in the end zone. But probably, Matt, honestly, probably right on the verge. You know, if we were another 5 yards back or 10 yards back, we probably would have had to do something else, you know, whether it was a hook and lateral and then try to keep the ball alive type situation. But Carson's got a pretty strong arm, and we knew if we could get him a clear lane, he could throw it that far.
Working out in the end, but what was the mindset going for it on fourth down with 2 minutes left?
Well, yeah, you know, we want to win the football game. They're a good team, you know. A field goal ties the game. There's still 2 minutes left in the game. They get the last possession, and there's no guarantee you're going to win in overtime. And so, you know, if there's one thing that was disappointing, it was the fact that we didn't get 2 inches when we needed 2 inches. I think that's how short we were. You know, that's something that we obviously have to execute better in that kind of a critical situation. You know, you asked me after the fact if I knew I wasn't going to get it, would I have kicked a field goal? And, you know, sure, but I'm going to go for that 100 out of 100 times.
So Mason's misses it early in the game had nothing to do with
No, I mean, Mason's been rock solid, steady guy. You know, he pushed those first two. from which, I'll tell you what, if you come back here and, well, I guess the high school playoffs will be going on. If the high school playoffs weren't going on, I guarantee you in 2 hours, you could come back here and Mason Ward will be kicking field goals in the dome. That's just the kind of kid he is, and we've got confidence in him, and if it would have been fourth and 2 or 3, we would have definitely kicked it there. But with that short distance, you got to go for it, and you got a 2-minute drive from there to win the football game.
Jeremiah mentioned that Cody being out, obviously gave him a bigger role, but, did you expect him
Yeah,
to, make this
he's
many
been
plays?
playing more and more the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's a guy that has shown some flashes, and through the last couple of weeks, he's been taking more and more of the practice reps, and he showed up today, and we've had a lot of guys do that. We lost JoJo Gaines in the first drive, and Dennis Shorter had to come in and play safety. Isaiah McDaniels gave us a few quality snaps there at safety. And so, that's one of the things that you have to be able to do is you have to be able to play with depth. Some of those depth guys really showed up today.
Where does this win rank among those in your Coyotes career?
It probably really hasn't sunk in yet. I know it's such an important win to our fans and to our alumni, and certainly an important win to our program. Anytime you beat a really good football team, it's a big win for your program. But with where we're at, in terms of potential playoff berths and all of that, it's a big win. And quite frankly, it puts us in a position where we get to play for a conference championship next week. And that was one of the goals this football team had from the beginning of the year, and to be in that position, going into the final game is exactly where you want to be.
After a difficult spring, I guess, how realistic did being right here with the chance for conference championship seem?
Well, I believed, and obviously you can see our kids believe. We knew we didn't play in the spring the way we were capable of playing, and I'm not sure even, I say this all the time, and I know I sound like a broken record because we were 1-3, but man, I'm telling you, that was unbelievably difficult as a student athlete, as a coach of student athletes. That spring season, it was hard. It was hard to be all in, quite frankly, because you didn't know if you're going to play or not. And we had so many of those things that affected us. And what it did for us, I think, is it maybe just reinforced how special every opportunity is. And our guys have played like that this fall.
If this is the win that gets you into the playoffs, just the way things panned out, deflated after you get stopped on 4th down, and then who knows about getting 1 second back on the clock, you get another chance, and then the way it ended, this would be one you'll probably won't forget for a while.
No, it won't be one. It will be one I'm going to remember for sure. I mean, to win on that kind of a play, pretty crazy situation, and I really, like I said, when I started out, I'm really proud of our kids for hanging in there, and really happy for our kids because the way they've worked this year, they deserve to have maybe a little luck go their way.
And how do you feel just the defense handled this top, ranked offense in the Missouri Valley today, holding them to, just the 20 points overall?
Well, I think our defense showed they can go toe-to-toe with a really good offensive football team. They've got great experience, great talent. And we knew they were going to move the football some. You're not, but what we had to do going in was, take away the big hitter runs that Strong is so good at, and I think we did a decent job of that today. We made them really work for their rushing yards, and the quarterback's a good player. We with the exception of the one, broken play, long play, I can't remember how long that was. We did a decent job of keeping the ball in front of us and making them, making them work. And we knew one of the keys was going to be getting them off the field on third down. And we did that fairly effectively.
Did the close losses to Kansas, Missouri State, where you kind of had similar situations where you're trying to move the ball late in the game and coming up short, did that help prepare the guys for, a game like this where you're coming from behind on that last drive and then the Hail Mary at the end?
I don't know if it prepared us for the Hail Mary, but our guys were playing with a lot of confidence and offensively, and that's why I went for it on 4th and a couple of inches, because we were playing confidently and felt that if we could convert that first down, that we had a chance to get the ball in the end zone and win the ball game right there in regulation. And when it didn't happen, now you got to get it back, and we found a way to get it back.
Bob, on that, that 4th down call where you guys got called for too many men, you were talking to the refs there, what were you confused about, or what happened there?
Well, I wasn't confused. I think, I'm not sure, I won't say they were confused either, so when it was, we had called timeout, the ball was dead. So when the offense sends on personnel, we as a defense get the right to be able to match their personnel. And so as their personnel came out, we decided to substitute and go to a heavier personnel group defensively, and the referee stepped away and let them snap the ball. And I didn't understand why it wasn't held. I think it should have been held. That's my opinion. And in those dead ball situations, typically it is held for the defense to be able to match the substitute, because the play clock's not even going. And so it was kind of frustrating, because obviously we were scrambling around, had really no chance to be able to defend the play. Plus we were called for having, I don't know, we had more than 12. It was probably 15, because we were subbing 4 people, I think. So, something that obviously I disagree with what was called on the field, and, those things happen. But, I'm honestly, pleased that it didn't come down to that, we found a way to get around that situation as well.
And then after, those 2 empty trips in the first half, how big was that 3rd and long throw from Carson for the touchdown there, just to give you guys kind of...
Yeah, that was really a big play. We had gotten ourselves off schedule, and would have had to settle for, another 3-point attempt there if we hadn't completed that. And again, that was Carson extending the play. He did some really good things today. He played like an experienced quarterback today in a really big game. So feel really good about that.
All righty. Any more questions for Coach?
Guys, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.